We got the killers over here.
Yeah! We got the killers over here. Yeah!
Living legend.
What's up? This your boy, Coach DOC with Living Legends, brought to you by iLLSports247. Today, I'm not by myself. I have my people with me. Got my co-host, KT.
What it do?
My boy, Coach Poe, Trenches Reloaded. And we got a special guest today who we know is a living legend. He don't need a real introduction at all. His name speaks for itself and his body of work alone lets you know that he's a living legend. We have Byron Gettis in the building. Byron, how you doing, my brother?
I'm good.
I'm good. He has all this black and yellow on. I don't know why. We not no Steelers fans.
3-0.
But 3-0, I guess he got a reason to be happy. Byron, today we're gonna open up with what made you choose football as a coaching profession over baseball?
Oh man. To me, football is more strategic. You know what I mean? It's a sport where to me, baseball is skill, it's individual. Football, you got plays, you got, I'm trying to beat this scheme and stuff. So I like football just as far as the coaching is the team camaraderie and learning how to, beat schemes and stuff.
All right, so for those of you who don't know, Byron, he's a graduate of Cahokia High School, 1998 class.
Best class.
His last football season was 1997. And that year, what type of accolades did you get?
Oh, man. All conference. I was player of the year in the Metro East. All state that year. Preseason All-American. Nice little.
That's in two sports too, man.
Well, baseball, I was just all area, all conference, second team all state, something like that.
So you say All-American?
Not in baseball.
Football?
Preseason. Yeah.
Right, but guess what? We all Americans. I just thought I had that.
No, it was Tom Lemon had a Reebok All-American Reebok. That's how long ago.
Shout out to Tom Lemon.
Yeah, he had something going on. And he's still doing his thing. And I think we went out to a camp and my junior year, showed I had a decent junior year and was coming in as preseason.
Okay, so leading into the preseason, y'all get the season going. 1997 football season. What was Cahokia's record?
Final record was 8-1.
Only 8 games?
Only 8 games.
How does that affect you guys when being seeded for playoffs?
Man, hands down, we was one of the top teams in the state. I mean, we had a lot of returning starters coming back, and a lot of our key positions big up front. We had depth. We had young guys that can play, and we only had 8 games, so they treated us like we were 8-1. I mean, we were ranked top 5 in the state. We had to go on the road first playoff game to Bloomington, and we lost.
Okay.
Tough game, good game.
What number did you wear in high school?
No one and only, number 12.
What is the significance of number 12 in Cahokia High School football?
See, I don't think people know really what I think I know the roots of this. A lot of people didn't know this.
I know. I didn't know the roots. Coming from playing at Cahokia High School myself, number 12, I didn't want to wear it because you wore it.
Well, Coach Suggs, Tyra Suggs.
R.I.P. Coach Suggs.
Yes, sir.
Facts.
He always said number 12 was like the 12th man. So this was before we even knew about 12th man. Like, you got to be a leader, on the field, off the field, and he would always give it to the dog on the team, and the leader. He didn't just give it to the dog or leader or whatever. It kind of gravitated to you, So he would give I wore number 12. Before me it was Donald Whitney. Before that it was I'm trying to think who all wore number 12. I know after me who all wore, but not too much. Donald Whitney was like, he dated my sister, so I was always at his games and stuff.
So you trying to be like big bro? Okay, I get it.
Yeah, but we were fresh, man. That's all. Hey, he was cold with it.
All right, man. Tyler, he had some pretty good questions for you. We're going to let Tyler ask you something. And then we're going to let Poe ask you a few things.
Kind of touched on a little bit, bringing up the late, great Coach Suggs. I was kind of wanting to touch on how that relationship was. Because I was a lot younger, so when I was coming up, you was already playing. I'm watching. Every time I seen Coach Suggs, you was right there with him. Like he always had you around at the quarterback club, all the little league events. So I was just wondering how y'all kind of touch on y'all relationship.
Man, I was with Coach Suggs probably way before high school. I would say about my 6th grade year. He was coaching Donald Whitney now in baseball. Coach Suggs is real rooted. His roots was baseball.
Right. Yeah. He went to league baseball as well. That's the other question I was wondering. How much did Coach Suggs have to play in your love for baseball?
Man, people don't know this though, but I'll get to that in a second. But just really with Coach Suggs, man, in high school, my mom had a stroke. I don't know if people knew that either. My mom had a stroke. My dad, he was working all the time, drove taxi, so he was always gone. So basically, my mom was staying with my uncle. I ended up staying with Coach Suggs, and once I, would stay over there, I stayed at multiple homes, but really Coach Suggs was the place I lived. They, took care of me and everything. And I always wanted to be a coach, so we had the quarterback club going. He would let me come out. I was the offensive coordinator for the quarterback club. I was coaching Mario, which Javante was older, but Rory. So that was my thing, and he would just talk football and sports and life in general, and that's the heartbeat of the program. He would always talk about that. Being a heartbeat of Cahokia program, what it meant, to be a Comanche and stuff, and that's where I got my foundation from.
Okay. To move away from that, I was also wanting to ask you, as being a head coach at Ofallon and everything going on with the COVID and starting in the spring, you say you got 2 kids committed, right? Mm-hmm. And I just wonder how, as a coach, are you planning to play them? Or what's the conversation like going forward?
I think a lot of,
not just to pinpoint on just picking on you as a coach, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But just in general, just speaking as a coach with all kids going in the spring, then also being a player that knew what it's like to be, you know what I'm saying, going off to school, and then, well, in your case, you went to the league.
I think what helped was that all these schools now are playing in the fall. Mm-hmm. So, like, if the Big Ten would have moved to the spring and all these other schools would have moved to the spring, it would have been different. Yeah, they would have been recruiting during the season. But to me, some kids more than others got to make that decision, because you look at some kids maybe slotted as their top recruit coming into that university, mm-hmm. and they'll say, well, hey, why would you play in the spring when you're going to be here in June? You're going to be competing for a job. Some people can graduate early and come, so that's probably one of the hardest things. We don't have the kids that's going to that top-notch school, but we have some good athletes, and they, just for our kids to have a season, mm-hmm. they looking forward to playing. And I talk to all the parents about it. If a parent came up to me and was like, hey, I don't want my son playing, I will honor that, mm-hmm. and just move forward,
So what's your advice to the kids that have some offers or have interest from schools that are going into the season? Do you tell them you need to play, or you don't need to play, or you just continue coaching and whatever decision they make, you support?
I tell them to play. You only get one high school season, one high school career. And I know, moving forward, that's the main thing. You want to get to the next level. I tell them to play. When you get into college anyway, it's all year round anyway. Start getting your body prepared for it now, and going to the season. I know everybody talk about injuries. What if this happened? Well, I mean, you can't go into the season thinking about injuries because people get injured in spring ball, people get injured running summer conditioning. You get injured anytime, you know.
Get the finger slammed in the door.
Right, you're
All
right.
type of ways to get hurt, and I understand
Do
that.
you think all the injuries though that are happening are going to be a deterrent for big time guys to play in the springtime? Because I know I've heard a couple guys like I'm not playing because their plan is to go to college and be playing immediately. So I don't want to play in the spring and get hurt.
And that's the issue you have. You know, I think a kid like that may want to rethink it, you know. But, again, you know, you look at high school football, if you're the best player on the field, you know, I mean, if you better than that much better than everybody else, are you really thinking about injuries?
Right.
You know, the thing is, I think the main thing is, as coaches, the training and preparation for it. That's got to be the main focus. You know, a lot of people may be thinking about, oh man, we got to get this player. No, let's think about how we're gonna train their bodies to be prepared to do this. You know,
because they haven't been getting the training that they usually would get.
Well, it's been like college.
Yeah,
this is spring ball right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, except for no contact.
I wouldn't even say it's spring ball, man, because you know, like a lot of schools couldn't lift weights because they didn't want them in the weight room.
Correct.
You know, a lot of schools with the whole, you know, keeping 9 people in a certain area and everybody being separated, it was really tough. So I know a lot of schools where kids just stopped going, just stopped showing up for practices because they're like, we're not playing, there's no sense in me going.
Yep, I think from our standpoint, man, we had 150 kids, man. So breaking those up into groups of 9.
Must be nice.
Listen,
I mean, Ofallon, we got close to 3,000
it's
students.
more than the University of Missouri.
We don't-
150 kids.
But still, not all those kids are going to school for football, if you get what I'm saying. Some of them kids are going to be doctors and lawyers or whatever, but I think what we did was, I understand the weightlifting and stuff. We just conditioned them as much as possible because, I mean, granted, back in the day, it wasn't a lot of weightlifting. That wasn't a major point. Once we started weightlifting, that's when the guys that took weightlifting serious back in the day, you saw them, they were that much
separation. I mean, the separation is always in the preparation.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So, just moving on, I believe that you are truly a living legend, my brother. What I want to know, I want to kind of go back to your time at Cahokia High School, the transition on to the Major League Baseball, back to college, into coaching, and I want to know the whole spiel. I know when I was at Cahokia High School, I got a very interesting story, man. I had some Rawlin cleats his senior year. I had some Rawlin cleats. I was on the freshman level, and I didn't play varsity at all. But I watched those games. I went to the game. I was the water boy. Had some little candy for the guys on the sideline. You know what I mean? Just to give them some of the beast mode that I have. So with Byron, he graduated. Got some Nike shorts on his shoulder. He give me the Nike shorts. That's like the passing of the torch.
Pass the torch.
Got the Nike shorts. Those were my first name brand cleats. All my friends, they was like, man, you wearing those Rawlins? Like, yeah, I'm wearing these Raw Dogs. I didn't care nothing about no name brand. I was like Waterbug off, what was the movie? Friday Night Lights, Waterbug. He was drawing Nike signs on. I was wearing the Raws. Once I got the Nike shorts, elevation.
That was it.
Elevation. So what I was saying, you graduated high school, you was a big time recruit. You were slated to go to what university?
Minnesota.
University of Minnesota. What position did they want you to play there?
Quarterback.
Okay, so you didn't go to Minnesota. Could you tell us why? And then what was your next move?
Well, man, with Minnesota, see, I think my biggest asset, I wasn't the smartest kid, but I was a worker. Like, I work you. So I struggled with the ACT. I took it like 5 times. And it came to the point where I took the test. My test scores wasn't going to get back before I had to make a decision about baseball. So sat down with Coach Suggs. That's what I was going to get to. Sat down with Coach Suggs. We was just talking about it. Scouts came in, and, I had a real good senior year in baseball, and scouts was like, hey, we want you to be a Royal, and I had to make a decision. Now I was going to Prop 48, and for you guys that don't know what Prop 48 is, it's where you basically go to school. I was going to go to Minnesota. I would have to pay for my first year, which my financial aid would have covered it. And I could eat with the team, I could lift with the team. I couldn't practice with the team for the first year, and then the next year I'd be on scholarship. I was going to do that. I ended up qualifying late. I qualified. I was already in Florida when I found out I qualified. So once I qualified late, I was already in pro ball, and that was it.
Do you wish that you changed your decision once you signed to play pro?
Tough.
You know what? To be honest with you, right now,
No.
listen. This is the only reason I say this. Right now, I wish I would have got a chance. I wish I would just played a year in the Big Ten. That's the feeling of just playing in the Big Ten. To say I played in the Big Ten. Now, if I would have played the Big Ten, I may not have played in the MLB. I might not have played at Kaufman Stadium. But this is what made me say that. I ran into Mitch Brown.
Okay.
He was a recruiter for Minnesota.
I remember Mitch.
I ran into Mitch at a coaches conference, like when I was coaching at Lindenwood. We was at the coaches conference, and I believe we were in Nashville. Ran into him. We sat down. We talked. He said, "Man, Gettis, you could have been an NFL player. That's what type of recruit we thought you were." When he said that, I was like, "Man, I wish you would have told me that back then." That's the only reason I said, man, maybe if I would have went that route, maybe I would go to the NFL, but they, not MLB.
Man, I truly believe that our destination is not chosen by us. I think the thing that's best is that we don't write these things down, man. It's part of God's plan.
Correct.
You back in this area for a whole purpose, and I think you're doing a pretty good job. So, Minnesota. You get called up to MLB. You get the call for the big leagues. What, May 2004?
Yes, I was in Portland, and I struggled to get. I'm coming off a Player of the Year. 2003, I was Player of the Year. 2004, I struggled a little bit because I was trying to be Player of the Year. Didn't let the game come to me. I had reinvented my swing or whatever. Started getting hot a little bit. Started seeing the ball a little bit. We in Portland, rain delay, and I remember I was hitting with what's his name? I won UL Washington. Can't think of the guy name, but get called into the locker room, and they say, "Hey, Gettis, you're going to the show." Now I know what that meant. I didn't believe them. I'm like, yeah, right. I ain't going to the big leagues, and they was like, "Yeah, man, you catching a red eye flight to Kansas City. Y'all playing Detroit. It's the last game of the series." Getting called up. And I was like, I didn't even call my wife. I was like, Coach, call her and let her know. And we were in Omaha, so it was an easier drive for. I was in Portland, but she was in Omaha. Came over and played my first game. Pulled up to Kansas City, the hottest day in Kansas City, and my name was in the lineup. I was hitting sixth.
How was that first day?
Man, look, okay. First of all, when you get called, I got called up. I was catching a red eye. I couldn't eat anything. I was just so excited. Get to the Kansas City, get to Kansas City Airport, drive to the field. Everybody there, they showing me love, dapping me up. I'm going to the kitchen in the locker room, and I just sit there and take a deep breath. And I remember the only thing I ate was a bacon sandwich. I don't know why I remember that. The only thing I ate was the hottest day in Kansas City. I go out there and I take 100 ground balls because they got a curve in right field or the ball to go down the line. I took 100 ground balls and seemed like sweating. Went into the locker room, came back out. People had signs talking about, we've been waiting on you to add life. It was crazy. I didn't get to hit that game. Ended up cramping up that game. Ended up cramping up in the last inning or something like that. The final score of that game was 23-21.
Who won?
Detroit. Hud Rodriguez, Rondell White, Dimitri Young, all these guys on that team.
So, man, you know what I call that when a player gets hurt, end of the game with the game on the line. You know what I call it, don't you?
What you call it?
Loser's limp. Had to lose his limp, man. And that's cool, you had to lose his limp, man. Just, hey, you gotta chalk it up, buddy. Chalk it up. So, alright, Major League, you're playing ball. At this time, I'm at the University of Missouri. We talked a lot during this time. I want to see if you remember some of those conversations. Do you remember anything we talked about around that time?
Man, I remember, shoot, that was before I was up.
Yeah, that was before you got out the big leagues.
Yeah. Ooh, dang, I'm trying to think of a conversation that we had about.
What I'm getting at is, I feel like I was very influential in your back and play ball.
This dude you was happy, and you know when I was.
Hold on, before you answer that question, how long did you play in the show before you decided to go play football?
Oh no, I played when I first got called up. I think I got 40, 42 at bats, something like that. Struggled a little bit, went down to minor leagues, got my swing back.
Went back up.
Had surgery on my hand, season in the surgery. Then I went to, got traded to Detroit. That was my last year.
Gotcha.
So I'm glad you did that. Before you get to me being your influence to get to back to football, how do you feel about athletes specializing in one sport and not playing multiple sports? How do you feel about that?
Man, I mean, it's just like anything else, options. You know, you got to create options for yourself. You know, you just get locked in on one thing, especially, you know, if you're talented and stuff like that. I mean, create yourself options. I mean, all of us, if we had a job and we knew if we got fired, we was going to get another job, we cool with it, you know. Females, options. I mean, you just think about everything, you know. You got options.
Hey, that was
good.
Off that, so you saying LeBron probably could play in the NFL?
Yes.
Yes.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yes.
No doubt about it.
Did y'all see the clip when LeBron was running those routes?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe he could too. But you saying
They say it was like all state.
so
all
you think how much of that goes to being gifted in athleticism or being able to just walk and play any sport?
A lot of it.
A lot of
Yeah,
it.
I mean, he's a once in a lifetime.
Right.
You know, you see that. You know, yeah, once in a lifetime. But more times than not, you have people that's got to work to get there.
But back even to yourself though, playing two sports. How much of that? Not saying you didn't grind to get there and work hard, but how much of it was a natural? Kind of like you picked the ball up, it came to you, or how much hard, you know what I'm saying, grind really came to get to be that next level coming out of a small town like Cahokia. It ain't every day you make it as far as you did coming out of there.
You know what? I was in the right place at the right time, man. I'm just being honest with you. I work hard. I feel like I work hard. You know, I was in the weight room. I took it serious. You know, when it came to baseball, I played a typical summer day for me.
Right.
Wake up in the morning, go to basketball, go to 7-on-7 at 5 o'clock, go to Legion baseball at 7:30. That was a typical day for me. You know, and when it was baseball, I was locked into baseball. I wasn't thinking about nothing else. When it was football, I was thinking about football. How can I get better at football? You know, I was lucky enough to have all the skilled guys pretty much lived in the neighborhood, so I would get down, hey, we go throw the ball around, you know, for a little bit. You know, people weren't passing like that back when I was in school. You know, people weren't throwing the ball. It was Nebraska option. You know, everybody was running the field. You know, so for us to get out there to throw the ball around, you know, that was different.
Do you think you benefited from quarterback and playing baseball being such a relatable?
Not really. You know, I play baseball. To me, baseball is an individual team sport. You know, if you can hit, you can just hit. If you can throw, you can throw.
Right.
You can run, you can run.
Yeah, a lot of quarterbacks, they usually play pitcher in baseball.
I know
now, but that's why I'm saying in your case it's different, because a lot of the big time, you know, players, quarterbacks in the league, you know, had baseball, you know, on their line too, because they were pitchers.
Right, and that's normally quarterbacks, because we throw the ball. I mean,
Right.
we threw the ball hard, and it's a similar motion. You know, obviously quarterback you hear, but baseball, I mean, you more like this, but change ups and all speeds. And stuff.
For Doc to get back to telling, persuading you back to college, I was wondering how much did the scouts come find you in a small town like Cahokia, or how much did the athletic program there at Cahokia do of bringing those scouts to see you, or did they just come and find you?
Man, back in the day.
Because Cahokia really ain't on the map. Like you go somewhere, you gotta tell them you from St. Louis, or they don't know where you're from.
Don't do that.
No, to be honest with you, we had guys before me that were getting looked at. I mean, Kansas always was at Cahokia. Minnesota, I mean, Cahokia, there when I was in school, they were one of the top schools, you know.
Right. It kind of, yeah. I remember that the programs kind of was going away as you was going away.
Right. With baseball, though, it was
That's not
collegiate.
correct. That's not correct. The program flourished once he left.
Uh-oh.
I know what you're talking about.
They did. They did.
Flourish now. You know,
They were all.
Well, I mean, by the time
They all your children, man.
they might have been,
They all say.
they might have been, but by the
I
time
know what you was about to say.
Me, Mojo, yeah, they all parts of us.
well, by the time
You're all
my generation age group got there, it was kind of not much left. Y'all took it all with you, I guess. Took it all away. So I'm just speaking on my experiences of the athletes that was there and what was going on. It seemed like Eastside kind of by that time was the one and only, that program going on.
Always.
I mean, that's one thing about it, man. Eastside has so much tradition that, they're going to always be in that conversation. But certain times, Eastside not the most prevalent or promising program in the area. But right now they hot, and they were hot in the 90s, late 80s. But it's been times where we wanted to line up with them, and I felt like we beat them. But
we had an opportunity. We lost to Edwardsville. This is my sophomore year. We had an opportunity. They didn't want to see us after they didn't want to see us after the senior. No, they didn't want to see us.
There wasn't too many teams wanted to see Cahokia when you was quarterback.
That's why we had 8 games.
and one thing, Eastside, they benefited that Cahokia only had 4 coaches. If we'd had more coaches, they'd had me on the field his senior year.
That's a good story. I begged Coach Eaton, because I thought it was 2 freshmen that could call. I got called up as a freshman, and they put me on the kickoff team. And that was an honor to be on the hit squad. Because that,
right.
To be on the kickoff team, you got to be able to run and you got to be able to tackle.
Yeah, we would have beat both of y'all.
Oh, no, not my year.
Well, I wasn't even at school when you was there, so
Yeah, not my year.
I'd have beat both of y'all.
Yeah, well, freshman.
Not when he was there.
Freshman year.
Oh, I started my freshman year.
This dude lost to Granite City. This man talking about beating Cahokia.
Never.
Stop, dude.
Never in my career. That's how I got my career started. We were losing to Granite City.
I'd beat both of
And
you.
they said, Gettis, you going in at quarterback.
What year was that?
My sophomore year.
Sophomore year. That's the first time you got under center. Sophomore year on varsity.
On varsity, yeah.
Okay.
First game of the year, we lose to Granite City at halftime. Gettis going to quarterback.
So did you play quarterback in Little League?
Nope. Yeah. I wanted to be center.
Nothing wrong with centers. I love
It's
offensive
not, I
line.
played center.
I
I'm just
love
saying.
offensive line.
Nobody ever asked to play center, though. I didn't even want to play center.
So look,
I got moved to center.
because I guess I could snap the ball or whatever.
So they
I
put you
got
there just
time.
because you can snap the ball?
I was big.
Oh, okay.
I got tired of running. I was a striker. I got tired of running before the game.
Trying
and
to
had
lose weight.
My last year, I'm like, I'm playing center. I was there.
Because you didn't want to lose weight.
So listen to this.
Oh, my
So we
God.
wasn't there. Look,
So much for hard work, Mr. Gettis. So much.
I ain't mad at you. I quit the basketball team in 8th grade because I didn't want to be on skins.
you gotta listen.
They was like, Shirky, It's scared. Coach, you ain't scared. I'm like,
Me too.
no, ain't happening.
But I stayed. Though.
He was like, what you gonna do then? I was like, I'm going home.
Hey, I did. Hey,
And I started too.
me and J Dub, shout out to Jerry's Williams, man. Hey, but this how I became quarterback. First year, that year, I was like, good, I'm a center. Me, Petey, Jason Gilliam, we all on the team together. I had to go at a funeral the first game, and our quarterback was struggling. I came back, they were like, guess you a quarterback. I was like, oh. Laps. I used to take laxatives before the game and everything.
That's ridiculous.
Just to play quarterback.
That's child abuse, man.
Oh my God.
How did you get to play tight end?
Went to college, man. I was living the dream then. I played football.
Telling the story.
Oh, this dude.
Let's not get that to college.
Yeah.
Get that out the way.
We get into college.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to transition smoothly into college. I talked to this guy. I'm at Mizzou, University of Missouri, Brad Smith at quarterback. I'm talking to Byron constantly.
It's like, come back.
Hey, man, you know you can play football. He's struggling. He's not in the big league, so this is like 2001, 2003. It's in that area. He doing good in minor. Man, you doing this for minor league ball, dude. You don't want to play football, man. You think I can play? Man, you still one of the coldest ones I seen. For real? This is the conversation. Man, you think so? Next thing I know, after the majors, hey man, I think I'm ready to go back to school. I'm like, where you gonna go? It's on you, Byron.
So I came home to a basketball game, and Coach Moss, he was the athletic director at Carbondale, and I talked to him like, I'm going back to school. Now I tried everything I could to stay with baseball, but that didn't work out. Went back to school. Coach Moss was like, well, I know the quarterback coach his wife works at my school. So got me connected with Carbondale. And I'm going back to school at Carbondale. But this is what he didn't know. 2002, I said Glenn Mason was up for the head coach job at Ohio State. Now I'm a Michigan fan. I said if Glenn Mason,
Yeah, you heard me.
The Ohio State.
I said,
but guys,
if Glenn Mason get the job at Ohio State, I'm gonna go back to college and play football. If I have another bad year. So 2001, I struggled. 2002. I was an all-star in baseball, so I stayed with it. 2003, I was player of the year. 2004, but I was gonna go back to school and play football in 2002.
So you go to Carbondale.
Go to Carbondale.
You've been a quarterback all this time, and you end up playing tight end.
they never wanted you at quarterback.
What they say?
No,
quarterback
so-
number one.
Got too big.
No.
Like
I was
good big.
I was 240. I was 240.
Okay.
I was good. I could run still and everything. What happened is they had just got a transfer in, Nick Hill. He's the head coach at SIU Carbondale. He's a Southern Illinois kid. Heck of a quarterback. He was at Western Kentucky. He played basketball and football at Western Kentucky. Ended up coming back. They had just got him in. So for me, I was like, man, I just want to get on the field. I'm back in football. You know, I'm this 8 years removed. I'm like, man, you mean to tell me I can still play college football? Put me anywhere. They put me at tight end blew his pec out in 707 during the summer. So I was like, I can play tight end. They put me at tight end. I ran a 7 route. They were like, ooh, I caught the ball. That was it. You at tight end. Cool.
So what, you was at quarterback at first or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was at quarterback doing the drills and stuff, but I was just out there happy as a boy.
Right, just happy to be out there.
Getting back in this thing, I can still throw the rock.
Okay. Hey man, that's good, man. So you at Carbondale, you
still shooting off
played
the
2
center.
seasons. How old were you? 26, 27 years old?
26. When I first went back, I redshirted, and then
So old freshman, man.
I was an old non-traditional.
What they call you, old man?
They call me old man, geezer. They call me everything.
Till you hit somebody.
Yeah. Then 2007, ended up being a pretty good year. We went to the semifinals, lost to Delaware, Joe Flacco.
2007 was you had about 8 receptions, touchdown. Any touchdowns at Carbondale?
Yeah, I had 2 touchdowns.
Pretty solid. Y'all had some pretty good tight ends around that time. When I left Mizzou,
went to Indiana State. We played Carbondale. Had some good talent there. Some pretty good games.
In other words, you trying to say he smashed y'all?
not Carbondale. Not during that time. Coach Kearse.
They was hot. They was hot during that time.
He played against Brandon Jacobs.
Oh, I know who you.
Shout out to Brandon Jacobs. I know you. Hey, Jacobs, if you watching, I know you remember first play of the game. I smacked you. Yeah.
After that,
He had 12 carries for 144 yards. Hey, that man was get up after every play. Hey, number 5, you better show them how to tackle. I'm like, man, it's terrible.
I heard that story.
So you leave Carbondale and you come back to Southern Illinois, Southwestern Illinois, and you go to McKendree. What led you to do that?
well, my family, my resources was here.
I didn't know you went to McKendree.
Yeah, my resources was here, so I was gonna commute. I was gonna say, man, I'm going back to Carbondale, but then I had to think about my family. I had, my son was just born. He was turning 2. So what I was gonna just give up football and say I'm just gonna be a student. T.O. called. Coach Harrison.
Shout out to Tonio Greer.
And then
Fonzie Retter.
Coach Harrison called. He was a DB coach there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, yes, why don't you come to McKendree? It's like, yeah, I'll do that. We trying to change the offense. Went over there, talked to Coach Fisher. He's the defense coordinator at WashU right now. And then Coach Pelker, Hall of Fame Coach Pelker. They were like, yeah, we're trying to change the offense. And they argued. Coach Pelker wanted me at quarterback. Coach Fisher wanted me at tight end. And someone else wanted me at linebacker DN. It was McKendree. I was like, hey, we got a good program. We're trying to get back on, why don't you come here? Came back and played with T.O., man. T.O. was a freshman when I was a senior. Never got a chance to play with him. Finally got a chance to play with T.O.
So what year was T.O. in college when you got to college? Were y'all the same class?
No,
how
he
did it work out?
he was an upperclassman, so he treated me like a freshman, an underclassman. T.O. was a junior when I got there. So T.O. was
How many did you play at McKendree?
3. I only played 1 year at Cardinal.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All-American at McKendree, right?
Yeah, All-American at McKendree.
But you know the saying, right?
What?
We All-Americans. Don't you ever forget that.
Tight end?
Tight end. Probably one of the best moves I made in my life, man.
Playing tight end or coming to McKendree?
Coming to McKendree. A lot of friends and family. I was in McKendree from 2008 to 2011.
Was you there with Shane and Brad?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to Shane, man. Best CrossFitter in Illinois.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No
Yeah,
doubt.
no.
Shane, I'll come check you out, man. Yeah, he was a senior. We played together my first year there.
Shane played with fullback or something?
Tailback. He was like a wingback.
Triad.
Yeah, he was a
I remember
wingback.
Shane. Doing all them traps and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And that's what he did at McKendree. He ran a wing team.
Perfect. So you leave McKendree, you get back into coaching. What was your first stop?
First stop was Ofallon. Coach Joggers gave me, let me rewind that. Coach Pettis hired me first. We moved to Ofallon, so I lived right across the street from Ofallon. So when Coach Pettis hired me, it was no guarantee. At Beverly West, there was no guarantee he was going to be able to get me into school as a paraprofessional. Ofallon had positions open, so I ended up going on Ofallon. Coach Joggers gave me an opportunity. Coach Albers was the D coordinator, and I got to coach D-line, a position that I never coached before. I was always an offensive minded guy, and now, coaching D-line. That was my first time coaching.
Man, you're too nice to coach D-line, man.
No, it's not
mean, dude.
No, man, no, dude. Hey.
What was after Ofallon, coaching-wise?
Coach Fisher at McKendree got the head coaching job at Lindenwood Belleville, opening this new program. And he said his first 2 hours, he really wanted me and Mike Harrison. And I ended up going to Lindenwood Belleville, coaching the receivers. First year, I was it's like an assistant athletic director position, but it really is the facilities director. I work with third parties and stuff, so I ran the facilities there.
All right, so at that time, the head coach get fired or something at Lindenwood?
When I was there?
Yeah.
When I was there, Coach Fisher got fired. He got fired
And then you fill the role as the interim head coach.
as the interim head coach.
Nice.
I thought I was going to get the opportunity to coach that year. It was so late in the summer. We had our recruiting class. Matter of fact, he got fired on the day, enrollment day. So we had students on campus. So it was kind of hectic. We had a real good staff though, man, that was there. And we held it together. And they ended up hiring Coach Carlson, Dale Carlson. They hired him. I knew my ceiling once they hired him. I was like, well, I'm never going to be a head coach here. So let me start venturing out somewhere.
Now look at Lindenwood Belleville.
Only God, man. I'm not lying.
Man.
I truly believe that, man, every step of the way, shoot, I ain't never failed. I've always been a winner. Even when I seemed like I was losing, I'm still winning.
Okay, sound like some coaching right there, man. Even when I lose, I win.
No, I hate losing.
Man, you better hate losing, because if you don't hate losing, you're going to lose often. I
Right.
promise you that. So tell me, how did that make you feel when they chose to not hire you after doing all that work doing being the interim head coach?
Oh, man. It hurt just because the relationship I had with the staff and the community and Coach Fisher, man. You know, he worked his butt off to help build that community up, that university up, and you know, to be able to follow his footsteps and lead a program, that was like my dream. You know, that's what I went to coach. I want to run a program, and I didn't think I was the, you know, didn't know it was. That's the opportunity. I was 20, you know, I wasn't 20. I was 32, 33. So I was like, man, young college coach.
Nice.
All right, so after that, you didn't get that.
Hold on, before you even ask me this question, so he ain't gonna say this. He ain't gonna say this. I sent 7, 8 emails his way, trying to get on the staff, you know what I'm saying? But it didn't work out. It is what it is.
You ain't seeing
It
me.
is what it is. I still got him.
I definitely believe Poe.
I still got him. I still got him.
I definitely believe Poe.
I still got him. I still got him. Byron Gettis at lindenwood.edu. Yes, sir. It's all love, man. It worked out. It worked out. Continue.
Go ahead. It goes full circle.
Right. That's what I mean. It worked out.
It goes full
It
circle.
worked out.
You're like, what's going on here, right?
All right, so boom, you leave there. They shafted you. They didn't give you the opportunity to lead that program.
Facts.
Where'd you go next?
Well, we had a good year that year. We were 4 and 5. We said a good year.
That's a good year for them.
Because they didn't win a game
They
after
hadn't won a
I
game.
left. They didn't win a game for 4 years.
I done heard enough. 4 and 5 was good.
They was over after that.
And it was
for 4 years.
the top
Not
conference.
good.
The top conference in NAI.
That's true.
Like,
So 4 and 5 good. And
4 and 5 was good for all the people we lost and everything.
no. Is 4 and 5 good or is 4 and 5 not good?
It's not good. But
Okay.
No. You gotta be, it all depends. If you expect to
Perspective,
go
man.
0-9, you expect to go 0-9, you go 4 and 5, is it good?
No.
You
It's still
exceed the
4 and 5.
You expect it to go 0-9.
Yeah.
Whose expectations were there? That was your expectations were mine. Well, it doesn't matter.
I'm realistic though. I'm realistic.
What were your expectations?
no.
No, 500. I said we a 500 team.
Okay, and you were 500.
Because it was an odd number of games.
Where you go? Where you go?
That's an odd number of games.
One more game, they would get 5-5.
We beat a team that we weren't supposed to beat.
According to
According to them being a top 5 team and us being a top 120 team.
I don't like this conversation. We're gonna disagree all day, man.
That's all right.
We'll disagree all day.
That's all right.
I don't know who expectations were they.
See, you must be a Cowboy. See, that's a Cowboy fan.
Don't you ever disrespect me.
Cowboy think he'll win the Super Bowl every year.
That's how you supposed to
The Bears think that too.
Oh,
Hey man, we ain't come to start no trouble. Bears came to do the Super Bowl show. It's coming back.
When the last time y'all did that?
85. But it's coming back, man.
A
It's
long
coming
time,
back.
dog.
We're on the way 3-0, baby.
Yeah.
Shout out to Shot Town.
That's cool.
We coming back. Okay, so boom, you leave there.
No, I didn't leave there yet. So now, I know what we get to. Season come to an end. I already knew, hey, what's my next move? I'm planning for my next move. My alma mater position come open at Cahokia.
Okay.
And that's where I was like, man, you know what? This is a good opportunity. I'm going back home. People didn't even believe.
Head coaching opportunity became available.
Correct.
Okay.
And people didn't even believe me because they're like, why would he leave college to go back to high school? They didn't believe me. And you know, we had plenty of conversations during that time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so and the position came open and interviewed for the job. I didn't get it. I lost to the end.
Byron Gettis, Cahokia High School.
How do you not get that? That's crazy, bro. I ain't even gonna get into all that though. I'm gonna keep my mouth closed.
Hey, that's funny. So,
cause I got some things I was gonna say.
do you remember some of the candidates for that position?
No.
I do.
I know he does as well. Let's hear it, man. Who were the candidates?
Oh man, it was myself.
That you know of anyway.
You?
Mm-hmm. Talk about it.
Coach Clay. I think
Nobody else matters. So you had 3 people up for the job. So what happened? You didn't get that job as the head coach?
No, I didn't get it.
Who else didn't get it, Doc?
I didn't get it either.
Man, crazy.
I didn't get it, right?
Crazy. Crazy.
And but you know, I was upset, but I still wanted to come back. And the one reason I wanted to come back is me and Doc had a conversation. And we just, you know, cause we both was just like, man, what the hell? You know. But I ended up coming back, actually talking to Coach Clay about getting on the staff and everything, and he hired me, and Cahokia hired me, and that's how I got back into high school football with Cahokia.
Okay, how many years were you at Cahokia?
3 years.
3 years coach.
Yep.
So you had 3 consecutive years as a coach there?
No, first year we went 4 and 5.
Was that a good year?
You tell me.
Sounds like a trend. Sounds like a trend.
Definitely wasn't a good year.
It wasn't a good year. I didn't think it was.
We scrimmaged y'all that year.
Beverly East?
No.
Riverview.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I didn't think.
Something. I remember that.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a good year, but
Y'all was running.
we was turning the program around. You know, Cahokia was out of the playoffs for 8 years when something unheard of. You know, and that was one thing. It wasn't about me. It wasn't about Doc. Doc always been about the kids and that community.
Facts.
And we saw an opportunity for us to come back and get our school back on the map. And even if things didn't work out for us, that was our main goal. You know what I mean? We talked about it. We talked to some alum. You know, and that's why I came back. You know, to do that. We went 4 and 5. I thought it was a bad year because we lost some tough games, but considering everything, you know, we felt like we took a big step that year. You know.
So the next year.
Next year, I became athletic director during the off season, and at Cahokia, if you were administrator, you couldn't coach. They had that as a rule.
It's like that anywhere else.
Some schools it is. Some schools is like that. You know, not all schools. Not all schools.
I ain't never heard of it.
Some schools is like that. So I went back. I was administrator at AD, and I had to choose pretty much which one I wanted to do. And I thought being an AD, it allowed me to put my handprint on all the programs instead of just football. You know, it had me spend time with baseball, volleyball, you know, everything, basketball.
How did that work out for you? What you had your preconceived notions, and how did that change once you was actually the AD?
After coaching that group, man, and building those relationships with those kids, I miss coaching.
Okay.
You know, being an AD, yes, good, but to go out there and watch the game and have to sit there and say, man, we do this and we do that, we'll win this game, or man, why we, you know, it was, as an AD, you're supposed to coach. The coach is kind of like, you know, the head coach is just getting them some info and stuff. And I think I did a decent job of that year, but I had to get back on the sidelines, man.
All right, so what was different from you not being able to be on the sidelines as an AD and then going to the sidelines? Did you give up the AD position?
No, but the difference was, I mean, the one-on-one with the kids, man. You know, I was there for the kids, you was there for the kids. I mean, that was the biggest difference. Not being able to tell the kids in between plays, hey, it's gonna be all right, we go get this next play and whatever.
What was the atmosphere around the baseball program your time of being the AD at Cahokia?
Oh man, it was
Like, is it the same as, because at this time I'm not familiar at all with what was going on with baseball in Cahokia. I ain't heard anything.
no feeder programs, so no nobody.
So, but what are your thoughts on what, you know what I'm saying, what went wrong, or why nobody's wanting to
No
get
feeder
involved?
program. That's probably the biggest thing. You know, people was coming to play baseball in high school. They never played baseball before, and they don't even have a glove. You know, we look at your glove and your back gloves to see what type of gloves you had to say, this dude ain't played baseball. He got a mag glove. You know, if you got a mag, you like, man, you need a Rollins, you know. But
Rollins, man, Rollins. I've been rocking with y'all.
But
about 3,000 yards.
Oh my God.
And it was molded.
they were molded cleats. They didn't make them tough ones. No screw ins.
Oh, man.
But nah.
Wait a minute, did they have a flap on the front?
I was for baseball.
No feeder program.
Oh, man.
You know, and then, I mean, you have to be a head coach.
I'll ask you a question. Might be funny coming from a white, you know, man, but how much is involved? Like,
You white?
being said, yeah, I'm white, man. That's what my birth certificate said. Anyway, man, it's not about me. Like, they say there's a stigma of black kids don't play baseball, or ain't too much. They not involved in it.
This is I talk to people about this all the time. Who markets baseball? Who do you see on TV? You don't see Mookie Betts that much,
Right.
And he's arguably
The best player in baseball.
the best player in baseball. Who goes to the games? You know, it's a marketing thing. You know, when kids shoot, we all want to be like Mike. You know, because that's who we saw.
Yeah.
You know, and you see people that look like you. And then in the city now, you can go play basketball. They got basketball rims up everywhere. Baseball fields are soccer fields now. That's why soccer is growing so much in the USA.
Facts.
You know, and now
I just look back on
And they got rid of
like
Cahokia.
Cahokia, like when we was growing up, they had
That's a
feeder
soccer field.
programs. Yeah, they had all the feeder programs. Now I was just wondering how much of, you know what I'm saying, Cahokia kind of, great white flight, everybody leaving, and you know what I'm saying, people trying to better moving in Cahokia, and I love Cahokia. It's so many people I think got their hands in the pot politically, and you know what I'm saying, how much plays into those programs down there.
that's a whole nother.
Right, yeah.
But I mean, if it's about the kids, man, you got to give all our kids every option. You know, if tennis is an option, they got a new tennis court. But now you got to get coaches to coach, get somebody out there to teach them. If soccer is an option, you got to find soccer field. Baseball, man, everybody played baseball coming up.
Everybody.
Not me.
Everybody played baseball.
You play at all?
I tried.
That boy couldn't
Took
hit.
one to the face. Bow. Yep.
But that's the thing. I
This
mean,
glove off.
you know, and then think about this as a Major League Baseball owner or general manager, scout. You can go to the Latin countries and pay a kid $10,000 to leave their country and their family to come play baseball because it's third world country.
Right.
They're gonna do it.
Yeah.
But if you come down to coach and say we're gonna give you $10,000 to don't chase your dreams in football or baseball,
They gonna laugh in your face.
they gonna laugh in your face. $10,000, and when you see all these people making $100,000 and $1 million,
Right.
100 mil.
you know, that's baseball. That's why you see a lot of Latino players.
Right.
And granted, they got so many baseball complex. I'm talking about in Latin American countries. You know, baseball is abroad now. It's in Australia.
Right.
It's all about, but they missing the mark and the innocence.
Well, how much interest was shown from the athletes while you was AD? Like, did the kids know anything? But like, would they want to play baseball, or just didn't have the opportunity, or?
Well,
I'm just
track
trying to
program. It's on the same season
Right.
as track.
Yeah.
Now, when I was in high school, we didn't even have a track.
Well, yeah.
We had the crush
You
brick.
can't
We
go.
we had a track.
We had crush brick.
The Millsap
we didn't
ain't
play
letting
that
you be
when
an
I was
athlete at Cahokia and not run track.
Exactly.
He's not letting you do nothing.
So
but
if
run
you're
track.
gonna run track or play baseball, which one you gonna do?
Run track.
True.
Because
Yeah,
track,
yeah.
you're gonna win that.
You
Yeah,
gonna get a
true,
lot of
true.
rings.
Baseball-
Cahokia and track.
It's boring. It's not fast. It's
Unfortunately.
that's kind of that's how to me our baseball and stuff. The white flag, yeah. I mean,
So-
when they left,
So with the rule being that the AD can't coach, how did you get back on coaching while being the AD?
and all rules and stuff. Prior to you could coach and be AD. Coach Dow did it for years.
Absolutely.
Coach Baum did it. You know, I think they made that rule because they wanted somebody in that position to really focus on
being AD.
AD and building the programs back up. Once they found that or whatever like that, I think the school board did a good job because they saw, okay, what's the best thing for our kids? You know, if Coach Gettis is good for our kids to be a coach in our program, can he do both? Well, they say, okay, they split with Todd Hill, Lake Todd Hill. Shout out to him.
R.P. Todd, man.
He was my assistant AD, heck of assistant AD. He knew how to run the programs, and we split up duties, and that's how I was able to get back on the sideline.
So when you got back on the sideline, it was a resurgence of Cahokia. Cahokia made it to the playoffs. A couple of you guys was coaching. I think Coach Poe, you was on that staff as well, weren't you? Guys went back to the playoffs. Had been quite some time.
That's the full circle right here.
Okay, so how did Poe end up at Cahokia with you after you didn't even open his emails?
Slow down.
I'm just going off the information I have, man.
Well, as the AD, I do all the hiring, and I was thinking about, man, how can we, make Cahokia's program the best program? And it's got to start with the coaches, So, I hired a volleyball coach. I thought she was a good candidate, young, and knew about the sport, played college. And I think this year we had all coaches on the sideline that played college football. So Coach Poe came, and it's hard to find an O-line coach. It's hard to find a good O-line coach. You could probably teach somebody to play D-line or coach D-line. You could probably teach somebody maybe linebacker, but to find an O-line coach that know what they're doing.
O-line and quarterback, man.
And Coach Poe wanted to get back in this area and start coaching. He had opportunities other places, but I don't know if I talked him into it, but he
For sure.
coming to Cahokia, man, and we changed that around.
I wasn't coming until I talked to you.
Man, it was good to see my boy Poe in that blue and white, man. He always wanted
Comanche blue and
Yeah,
white.
that Comanche. He always wanted to wear that. He always did, man.
Comanche blue and
Finally
white.
see him out there, that was a blessing.
Don't let them lie to y'all.
So Byron, all right, you leave Cahokia, and you was AD and a coach. You land your first high school head coaching football job at a place that you previously coached at, had some success. What's that like being a new head coach, making history,
Facts.
being
if I'm not mistaken, the first black head coach at Ofallon High School for his football.
Man, it's been. I tell people all the time, if you had never coached in your first coaching job, is at a program like Ofallon, man, the way where the community supports you, you have all the resources, you have all the kids, man, it's good. You know, they take care of you over there. It's been my first 2 years has been great. You got COVID this year, and the first year I get hired late. So, you know, it's been trying, but man, the kids are responding. I got a good staff, coaches that love coaching. Kids want to learn how to play and want to get better, man. You know, as a coach, that's all you want for kids. You know, from kids.
How many seniors you lose last year? How many seniors did you lose last year?
We lost
starters.
Senior starters. Man, we lost 1, 2. We lost 6.
6.
Yeah, 6.
Congratulations on your recent signing too, the receiver.
Oh, Bonner.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Trail, RZ.
Red Zone.
Red Zone.
Man, you gotta earn that name for me.
Yeah, I mean, definitely got to earn in the games. Trail, you watching? Because you're going to be on the show. We're going to see if you know how to talk in front of the camera. You're going to be on the show, brother. So, boom. You're the head coach at Ofallon. First year. Success or not?
Yes. Yes, it was the best 3 or 6 season ever.
Okay. What makes it a success?
Man, we were in every game. Every game. And
lost to some good teams.
Would it be CBC if it wasn't for a rain delay?
Yes. No, you know,
yes.
No.
Tax
the
that.
rain delay would have been helpful with momentum, but we made too many mistakes. The team with the least amount of mistakes won.
After the rain
I
delay.
appreciate the honesty, Coach.
Yeah, we were in.
I was at that game. I watched that game.
We were in every game, and I say every game with the exception of 2. And I say the CBC game, and then the 3 quarters, I would say 2 quarters of the Eastside game.
Okay.
And we were depleted the Eastside game. Our game plan was slow game down.
So what did you do to prepare your guys to replace those seniors that left?
Man, you know, I think our freshmen had a good year, and during the off season, we do a good job of knowing the heartbeat of our program, and that's the thing. When you have that many kids, you got to know who you have down at the freshman level. You know, some programs it's all about varsity, yes, which it should be. It should be. If you would go undefeated as a freshman, that's good. But it's all about going undefeated on the varsity when Friday Night Lights. And you know, we had some good freshmen that probably in some programs would have been playing varsity. But, you know, with the depth that we had up on the varsity level, man, just getting them mentally prepared. We have all our skill coming back. Quarterback coming back, running backs coming back. We got 3 linemen coming back. So, I mean, we got a good group coming back, you know, and I think that's you know, experience is the best thing to replace experience, you know.
Right.
Get that, man.
If you have all underclassmen with no experience in the Southwest Conference, you ain't gonna last long. You know, it's the toughest conference south of Chicago. You know.
Hey man, I wish you continued success, man. I hope everything get better for you over there, Ofallon. Hope you go 8-1, whatever it may be. Man. Hope you don't ever beat Cahokia, ever. But, you know, that's a whole nother topic, man. We're going to move forward. One of your favorite players, and I know this because I know you, he just landed a job at Jackson State. You know, they had a stigma that high-profile players don't do a good job of coaching. Deion Sanders, he out there in Jackson State. Coach Prime, he's assembled a staff with just as much acknowledgement as himself.
Answer that email, Coach Prime.
Coach Poe, he emailed you, Coach Prime. Holla at him. He got NFL ties too, man. Holla at him, man.
Young and hungry coach. Hey.
So, how do you feel about that stigma?
Man, it's unfortunate that stigma's there because, I mean, you got, I mean, chances, giving people chances, man. I mean, that's all anybody needs, you know. Especially someone high profile as Deion. I mean, well, you don't think he knows the sport because he was flashy and stuff, you know. And you know, I just don't. But you gonna resurface coaches throughout college football.
Do you think statistically that has been proven?
No.
That the high profile guys can't coach?
Yeah, no.
Michael Jordan can't coach.
Michael Jordan can't GM either. He can't even
talk about coaching, not GM.
He can't coach because he don't think everybody's supposed to do what he did. You can't do what Michael Jordan do.
No, man.
That's part of the
You
problem.
don't think Michael Jordan know how to run a triangle?
Of course he does.
See, how come you can't teach triangle?
Yes, because you got to think about it. A lot of high-profile guys. I coached in college. When I coached college track, I coached with a sprinter who was, you know what I'm saying, national champion. So he tried to teach guys to run like him. Doesn't work.
Okay, so Mike Singletary, right? They say you failed as a coach. Who was his quarterback?
I don't remember.
Exactly.
Who was it?
Nobody. Drunken Miller, the dude from Virginia Tech.
I mean, what was he at? Where did he coach at?
49ers.
Oh yeah, he did. Man, what? I don't know.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So he didn't have the players around him to be successful.
Right. Oh, I thought he had Alex Smith. Yeah, Vernon Davis there, right?
Oh, he did have Vernon Davis.
Oh.
Did he have Alex Smith?
Yeah.
Oh.
As a rookie? No.
Nah, not as a
Did-
rookie.
That was that can't win with him.
Oh.
Talking about Vernon Davis.
He was talking about Vernon Davis.
Oh yeah, can't win with him. Yeah.
I think Alex Smith got drafted the year after he
Who
got
else?
fired.
Who else high profile got coaching jobs besides Singletary?
That's what we talking about.
So maybe the stigma is the
Gotcha.
truth.
But how many of those high profile players want to go and coach?
True.
They're sick of the game, huh?
Nah, they just living life now. They
Sick of the game.
Hey.
With Deion putting together the all-star coaching squad from players looking at it, how many recruits you think are going to want to go to HBCU?
I'm going to play for Coach Prime.
Facts. He already stole two.
This is the main thing. Jackson State before let's erase Deion right now. Jackson State already is
they
one of the
already top
HBCUs,
HBCUs, yeah.
right? So now you add this element to it, and now it becomes. I mean, they got the band, they got the facility.
When were they last good?
Program. I'm talking about historically, just program. 30,000 people
I mean,
come to the game.
I think the experience is wonderful. But
Well, you talking
talking
HBCUs though.
Yeah.
Out of HBCUs, they are the one
Yeah,
of the
they
top.
not-
we talking.
You talking
If
the
we
whole
talking
thing.
football, we talking wins and losses.
No,
But
I'm not talking about wins
now
and losses.
experience HBCU is HBCU, man.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that I know that went to HBCU, they going to their homecoming every year. They don't miss.
Every year.
They don't miss them. So the experience is the experience.
Yeah.
But we talking coaching, we talking football. Y'all know it's only a couple things that matter.
Deion doesn't have to come in and say we need to get fans to come to the game.
True. They come.
They already got 30,000
They
for
already
the
got
game,
it.
and you know that's big.
Yeah, but they come to see the band.
Yeah. They come
They
for
come
the
to the
experience.
game. They come to the game.
Now they come to see the game.
Well, now it's gonna be 50,000, 60,000.
And
Enrollment. Now the
enrollment going up
enrollment's
for
gonna
sure.
go up. Now that Jackson as a city, as a town, which is a decent,
Yeah.
is gonna be
Yeah.
jumping.
The
now.
thing I thought of was it started in basketball where the top recruits were saying we could all just go to HBCU
It's happening too.
and not go and play for the big teams that normally get the top recruits and trying to dictate getting paid and making money in college and all of those type of things. That's why when I seen Deion going there, I was like, man, all these recruits are gonna go Jackson State, it's gonna put HBCUs
Yeah,
in
it all
a
depends.
He
position.
already had two decommit and
It all
to commit to
depends.
Jackson State.
It all depends.
But do you believe that the players can take power and control the way that the NCAA and everything is moving forward?
I mean, they can, but the thing about it is now NCAA got their shot at it. Now they gonna say, okay, we gonna do that. We gonna hire a black offensive coordinator. We go hire, and that's good for everybody.
Right. No,
Because that's the reason. That's the reason why.
Yeah, it's a trickle thing. You want that to happen. But I'm just trying to see, if you a player, you got Deion, Warren Sapp, Terrell Owens, and
which is
I don't think that was true.
Yeah, which may not be true, but you still got.
But
Deion
just with Deion there, you got just that being out there. How much, does that put Jackson State now on your list, as a school you want to go to?
Based off what he said, I'm rocking because he's the first
until a kid decommit from LSU, Alabama. Until the kid decommit from Ohio State, LSU, Alabama, Oklahoma, Clemson.
Yeah.
When you start getting those recruits, because they in the South now. What's going to hurt? What Jackson is doing is going to hurt Mississippi State, Kentucky, because them kids that say, man, I'm not going to Kentucky. I'm going to go to Jackson State and get win some SWAC championships and
He said if you ain't trying to go pro, he don't want you.
Man, I think Coach Prime he's been relevant in the game still since he retired. So with somebody with a high profile like that, recruitment is gonna be easy for him. It's gonna be easy. I know. I often think like, man, I wonder what it'd have been like to go to a HBCU.
See, I wanted to go to Mississippi Valley. I said if I want to go big time, I was gonna go to Mississippi Valley.
I had 4 rounds to Kentucky State, didn't take it.
See, I never thought about it. I said I'm going to the military if I don't go D1. I'm gonna be a soldier.
One of the things Coach Prime said in his press conference is facilities.
Yes.
That's what he said. He said our facilities are being upgraded, everything.
You have to.
Because as when you walk in that stadium, you walk in the weight room, in the locker room. You want to look at it like, man, this is what it looks like. This is how it's supposed to be.
I believe he know what it takes to get the kids to the next level.
I just want him to be there for a long time.
I know. Coming too.
If he go and have success for 5 years,
and then he go to Florida State.
What if he go to Florida State?
Oh, you know that's gonna happen.
And to me, how does a Florida State get Deion Sanders as your coach? I just don't get that.
It's gonna happen.
I don't know, man. I would like to think that that's not gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
You think he gonna stay at Jackson State for?
I don't know.
That's what I wish.
Yeah, I'm saying I don't know. I don't know him personally.
Man, he
so
can't stay forever. One of y'all gotta go.
He's a Florida State guy, man. He's gonna end up at Florida State at some point.
And this is the other thing.
And that's not a bad thing.
Can Alabama, can Notre Dame, can these schools pay him more than Jackson State?
I don't think he works.
From my understanding, I think
any coach. I'm talking about any coach.
But I think his goal is to build his own and put kids, because like he started his charter school and put until it got taken away. He put people in the NFL. He put 3 people in the NFL out of his charter school.
True. And
then went to a private school and took them from losing record to the state championship.
4 straight.
Yeah. So I believe he know how to, he know what it needs to take. But I think I hope his agenda is to be his own.
Man, you can tell that the man know how to coach just from watching him on Sundays, man, when he's doing his broadcasting. He gets out there, he gets in stands. He break down the game simple for you right then and there. Like, you can watch it with your wife and she can understand, like, man, why ain't just take the inside away on that play? Yeah. He break it down for you. Like, I know he's going to be successful being at Jackson State. I wish him nothing but the best.
The most important thing is the coaching staff, who he hires, knowledgeable guy. He said on his Twitter, he said he got 88 years of NFL experience between his coaching staff. So
right.
And with the top athletes, I think the biggest thing when they go back to coaching is how you communicate.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So can you communicate that to them?
Exactly.
So talking about communication, Deion, we know he can communicate. Correct. He's very vocal on the field. He hired Terrell Owens. You think Terrell Owens can communicate? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. He hired Warren Sapp. You think Warren Sapp? All those guys have proven that they're great communicators anyway. So, what do you think?
I think it's gonna work.
Oh, I think it's gonna work.
I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, no doubt. I think it's gonna work. I just don't want it to be short term.
All right, so we got to move right along, man. The next question or the next thing that I want to talk about, LeBron James. He been to 10 finals, 13 since 2007. He been to 10 finals out of 13 years.
The only year he missed was when he hurt last year.
10
Straight.
10 out of 13. What is his legacy?
Go.
I think LeBron has a really good. He in a really good position to have a statue outside of 3 arenas. I believe. I don't believe he's gonna get LA on one championship, but I believe he's gonna get 2.
He's not gonna get a statue.
They owe that man. Miami owe him a statue, man.
Not gonna happen.
Who you gonna
Why
get?
not?
D-Wade gonna get one. He ain't gonna get one.
Oh, why not?
Ain't gonna happen.
They'll be right next to
Why
each
D-Wade
other.
don't get one?
It's gonna be like Mount
Because he
Rushmore.
was there his whole career. You know how
No.
Why
He went to the
D-Wade?
Bulls,
D-Wade
man.
gonna get one too.
That was he was in Chicago for a night's sleep, man.
D-Wade is going to get one, but
For sure.
LeBron too.
I doubt it.
Why not?
I believe.
I'm not
I
saying he
believe-
shouldn't. I'm just saying.
I believe he
will.
gonna get 3 statues. He gonna be the only player to have multiple 3.
The only way he gonna get one in LA is if you gotta win more than one.
That's why. But he in a position. He gonna get. He getting one this year.
For sure.
He getting one this year. We got that, and he gonna get another
It's
one
gonna be a tough
before he
one.
done.
Miami ain't gonna play with it.
Oh, man,
He getting another one.
Miami ain't gonna play with it.
Miami got Boston on their
They gonna
ass
beat
tonight.
All right, so D-Wade gets a statue.
For sure.
And LeBron doesn't.
I didn't say he shouldn't.
I'm talking about in
I just
Miami.
don't think he will.
Oh, okay, you don't think he will? Because I'm about to say, D-Wade only had one before LeBron got to
That's a
Miami.
fact.
Hey,
That's a fact.
the king
But
brings
D-Wade got
the
the
rings,
first one.
dog. He did, but he had the diesel. He had the diesel.
Yeah, he wasn't a diesel. He was Shaq. He wasn't a diesel.
I still with the diesel, dog.
Jason Williams won it for him, to be honest with you.
The hardest
I
statue,
give
I
you
think.
that.
Mike Chocolate was hoping.
Nah,
The hardest statue.
won.
D-Wade was on some other.
D-Wade is a whole nother. But the hardest statue, I think, is gonna, in my opinion, gonna be the LA one.
Yeah.
He already got Miami. He got Cleveland. He got.
I don't see LA happening, man. Unless he win more than one.
Yeah,
Think who got statues in LA, bro?
The greats in all NBA history.
Yeah, no, the
I
greatest
mean,
in LA.
He's going.
Yeah, but those
He's
greats
going
in
to
LA
be
is
a
great.
But
LA.
how
Yeah.
many? Shaq got one. How many rings he get in LA?
2.
3.
Got oh.
Kobe got how many? 5. Magic 5. LeBron get 1 ring. You think? Nah.
I said it.
I
So.
don't think he gonna get more than one in LA.
When the last time Kobe got one? 2001.
09?
Nah, it was not.
Yeah, so no.
2009. And he wasn't even as old as LeBron is now, and LeBron can get one. Man, LeBron is an elder. He finna get a. Come on, man, that don't happen. The boy just had a triple-double to close it out. Man, he getting a statue in LA, dog.
No.
The king can bring him a ring. Nah,
They gonna get a ring. We ain't gonna-
LA went almost a decade without seeing the playoffs
Facts.
until LeBron just came there, and now they in the playoffs again every year
Facts.
like nothing left.
Facts.
I heard y'all say he was the GOAT.
Facts. I agree.
They gave
Yeah, I know,
they gave
I
up
know.
like 9
Hey,
years the first round.
You know,
draft pick.
that's a whole other conversation.
Just
When
to
you talking
build a
GOAT.
team.
What does GOAT mean? Greatest of all time? You said after Mike?
I said him and Mike.
Him and Mike, it can't be two.
So Kobe ain't in that?
For sure. Kobe
Can't
ain't
be
come
two.
on. See, I'm the type of person where, like, I was watching the Kevin Garnett and D-Wade little conversation. I don't think you can put everybody in the same pot, the same gumbo. Like, I just think you got to separate areas. That's just my opinion. Areas is different.
They
man.
still playing basketball.
That's true, but come on, man. You act like football the same.
I mean, football is
It's
flag
not.
football now.
Right.
It's cool.
And basketball is what?
Still
It's not the same.
basketball.
It's not the same. And you know it ain't.
I'm saying, what's the
You
difference?
was a hooper. You know that.
I'm saying, what's the difference? That's a
So
little
that's
fine.
that's what makes Michael Jordan the GOAT.
That's what makes people say that, yes, for sure. The reason
What made him the GOAT?
Because of the basketball, the different how basketball is.
Look, nah, you can't do that.
That's what people say.
You know what I'm saying? That's like saying LeBron won the average 59 during that time.
He wouldn't have.
Stop.
They would foul the crap out of that man.
He was going to shoot 30 free throws. He was going to hit 20 on.
No, he wouldn't.
He was going to hit 20 out of 30.
Stop it.
Yes.
Stop it.
The only reason I be saying this is I couldn't see Hornets say guarding LeBron.
No,
You could.
See,
But then,
that's the thing.
but when you go to the rack, you got Ostertag, you got
Dunked on. Dunked on.
Okay, so what Mike be doing now? Oh,
Same thing
60.
LeBron doing.
a night.
I give you that.
I was gonna say, I think Mike in this era
60
probably
a
got a
night.
little easier of a time.
I give you that. But we talking about GOAT, greatest of all time.
I mean, look,
I
Hey,
do the same thing with rappers. I can't put them all in the same pot.
Mike ain't go to
You gotta admire
All
this.
right,
though,
10
man.
out of 13.
Game 7, he got one shot. Who take it?
Mike.
Kobe.
Mike.
KD.
I didn't know KD was in the GOAT conversation.
KD not in the GOAT conversation.
We gotta see what he do once he get healthy,
He
man.
gotta get his own
He
team.
the best scorer.
Hold up, what you mean on team?
He the best scorer.
Hold up, what you mean on team?
He the best scorer.
I'm talking about listen.
What that mean on team? I didn't know what that mean.
Okay, what I'm talking about is at the time
He had his own
he
team.
had Westbrook, Harden.
It wasn't Westbrook though.
It don't matter.
All right, what? Carry on.
LeBron switch.
Hey,
LeBron take that team, they win.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Man, yes, they do. They different players. LeBron is unselfish. He gonna make those dudes better.
Yeah,
KD,
I believe.
KD was like, I gotta get mine. Westbrook like, I gotta get
Westbrook was like, I gotta get
Yes.
mine.
And KD was like, all right, you can have it.
I don't think
mine.
LeBron
And
laid
LeBron
down.
beat him. Ah,
Yeah, I don't think
Let's
LeBron
go.
lays down.
KD gotta get his own.
He the best scorer ever.
Yeah, it's 3-1.
So look,
Okay,
this is what I mean by this.
3-1.
This is what I mean by that. Listen. He got 3 with Golden State, right? 2.
So-
2 with Golden State.
What's your
He's the best player on the court.
He's the MVP of those two.
It's easy being the best player on the court when you got the 2 best shooters in the history of.
He was the best player on the court when he was in Oklahoma City.
No, he wasn't.
Who was?
When he was in Oklahoma City?
Yeah,
He's the best player on the court.
Stop. You're a KD hater.
I'm not a KD
Man,
hater.
you gotta be.
Man, KD
I'm
was
not
the
a
best
kid.
player on
He's
the
the best
team,
player on the
bruh.
court.
But
He was better than LeBron in Oklahoma City. No. All right.
in KD's
We talking about his
On his
team.
team.
in KD's defense. Hold on.
Kyrie was the best player on Cleveland team until
Kyrie
Yeah,
weak,
yeah.
man.
Until LeBron came.
Kyrie weak, man. Oh yeah, until LeBron.
Man, they won 2 games.
They didn't make the play. Kyrie ain't never made the playoffs without LeBron.
Facts.
That boy weak, man.
Facts.
I wish people start even putting him in a top point guard conversation.
Facts.
That boy is nothing.
Facts.
He just a scorer. He a point guard who was on the team with LeBron, Kevin Love, averaged 2 assists. Man,
So, who you talking about,
trash.
Kyrie?
Kyrie, yeah.
So Kyrie
I'm
got
not
one of
Kyrie.
LeBron rings.
He made a shot. Cool. All right.
Well, that
That's
statue
cool.
might not be there without that.
No, it's
without
still
Kyrie.
there. It's
So
still
hold
there.
on, what game was that he hit that shot?
The win of the closer.
That
It
was
was game
win.
7?
That
That
was
one.
win.
Now LeBron, now his stats
No, I'm
in
saying
the
that was
finals
game
have always
7?
been crazy.
It was game 7?
When LeBron averaged almost a triple double.
Every
46 that series.
Come on, man.
not that serious.
Yes, he did.
Who-
Oh, no, that was when he lost.
Who's
That's
the
a real loss.
Oh, I'm not arguing
who's
that.
the
He should've won MVP, but they gave him.
who's the MVP?
Now?
No, when
Of the finals?
that finals.
LeBron.
Okay.
They was
I-
talking
I-
about he was gonna be the MVP if he lost.
Hey, look, I
No,
read,
that was the year before.
That was
That was the
before.
year average. He
Okay.
should have been MVP, but the,
hey, I rest my case. Kyrie
I'm
did.
not a Kyrie
Kyrie
fan.
made a shot, and LeBron was the MVP. It don't matter. He made one shot, and LeBron passed him the ball.
True.
Guaranteed. That's just like Mike passing it to Kirk. Mike passing it to Paxson. Man.
Go get my trophy.
Now Kyrie got some handles.
Facts.
I'll give you that. But he
so what KD gonna do with that squad?
Who was
The
squad?
same thing he been doing.
What he gonna do?
He,
Same thing he been
hey,
doing.
They
Brooklyn
what
the
they gonna
East. He
do?
coming out the East.
They come out the East.
Yes.
Who
So
gonna
that
beat him?
team gonna be better than Boston
Who gonna beat him?
and Miami.
Holla. We can't even talk
Hey,
because we don't know what degree. We don't even know what degree free going
We
though.
gotta see what
How we even know what degree free go to Miami?
He got 1 more year left.
Brooklyn friend going to Miami,
He
man.
going to Golden State.
But I was just saying we can't say who coming
Nah,
out
he ain't
East
going
until
to
we
the
know
West.
what
He ain't going to
What?
West.
That boy going.
LeBron
to
out
Listen
west,
to
man.
that.
Hold on. Anyway, that's another thing. LeBron was in the East.
Somebody
Hey, look, LeBron was in the East.
Toronto was not even a mention. True.
Hey, look, LeBron was in the East, and they said he wouldn't do it in the
And
West.
then he went and
Now he in the West. That boy the GOAT, man. Stop.
I agree.
You think AD got a part?
AD is a good Scottie Pippen to him.
Facts.
Good Scottie Pippen to him, dog.
I'm just saying. I mean, I hear the argument on both sides, and I understand.
Mike different though.
I understand that.
I don't really
I
think it's more
but
like Magic
I don't like the hate
than
that the King
and Mike
get, man.
and Pippen with them.
Mike.
Well, the thing is, does LeBron come out of the West without AD?
Does LeBron come out the West?
No.
The Golden State ain't beat up.
How you come?
I think so. With
Yes.
this team,
Yes.
and Golden State got their
Yeah.
team. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Because AD is the Golden State don't have an answer for AD.
Yes, they do.
Who, Draymond? Yes. No.
Man, don't disrespect Draymond. Like
No.
that.
No.
AD
I can
just,
see.
AD don't post it up
Draymond.
for real. AD just he
Boy,
just
Draymond
play.
would have had that boy so
But
frustrated out there.
that works to AD. Draymond ain't finna affect him.
Why he got it on the floor? He is. What, he gonna catch and shoot all day?
So,
That's what he does.
Caruso gonna stop Steph?
Hey, come on.
Huh?
Caruso is gonna stop Steph?
Not happening.
When you got AD
Not
at the
happening.
rim,
He ain't going to the rim.
He shoot. Caruso, you gotta get him off the court.
AD out there playing on shooting guard, man.
listen. So then Thompson gonna
Go
guard-
crazy.
Thompson gonna guard
LeBron.
LeBron.
Yes.
So Thompson ain't gonna go crazy because he's guarding LeBron.
And why not? He went
nah.
crazy when he was guarding everybody else.
Clay not gonna stick.
They find somebody
Yes,
else.
he
They
is.
find somebody else.
There's somebody else got to step up.
Who?
Ain't nobody
Yeah,
else.
you gotta step up.
Who ain't gonna put on the what's his name?
That's why I said
Boy from
the Lakers still come
Lakers.
out.
What's his name?
The Lakers come
Oh,
out.
Wiggins.
Wiggins. You put Wiggins on?
Nah.
That's why I
You
said
you
the
have
Lakers
to though
come
because
out.
you have to pick your
Yeah,
poison.
they gonna keep Clay fresh.
You got to because even Dallas stuck with sticking LeBron. It wasn't Clay.
Yeah, because
Clay
Clay was going Kyrie.
They tried to. They thought put the bigger defender on him.
No, because Clay the best defender on the team.
I'm just saying, if Golden State was healthy this year,
It would have been
Yeah.
tough.
no,
Yes.
no.
Okay.
Hey, look, man.
Steph different, bro. Steph is different, bro.
Hey,
He different when he got KD.
hey, look. No,
It's different
I
before KD got there.
want to settle this GOAT stuff, man, because only thing Jordan did better than LeBron was score.
True.
So what makes him the GOAT?
I
If
said
LeBron beat him in everything else, man.
Because
And he only averaged 3 more points than the boy.
I think people don't get Michael Jordan or any of these players. If you saw them play in person, like I saw Michael Jordan play in person one time, and I got a better understanding because he moves so much without the ball. On TV, you don't only see him with the ball, but to see him moving without the ball and getting in a position and stuff like that, to me, that makes him like, you would think you just get the ball and it's a wrap. No, he moves. He knows how to position himself.
It's all debatable, man. I just say that because, I love Mike. Mike was the MVP and the defensive player of the year in the same year. So I got nothing but that.
I think Mike can go. LeBron the king.
LeBron,
Kobe.
Oh, go
All
James.
around,
Shout out,
everything.
Kobe what?
All around, everything. It's just plug and play.
Who?
Kobe.
Kobe ain't better than LeBron.
I didn't say that. I said LeBron the king. Jordan the GOAT.
And what is Kobe?
He all around.
He's just Kobe. That's what you're saying. He's just Kobe.
If you shoot the ball, you gonna say Kobe.
I still say Jordan.
Jordan.
You know it's Kobe.
You know it's Kobe.
Kobe's birthday day after mine, so I already knew he was gonna be that dog when he under the league anyway. Y'all be hating, man. Hey, y'all just mad because 2 GOATs back to back. My birthday, then Kobe's birthday. Just like that, man. But man, hey, before you leave, man, I need to know.
Gotta ask.
It's a 2-part question.
Oh man, don't put me on the spot.
Number
but
1.
I know what it is.
Who the best quarterback in Cahokia history?
Me.
Well, why you say that?
I did everything, man.
You know what the last guest said.
Tell us what you did.
We were in an era where it was running the ball. That was the thing.
Okay.
And I threw for 1,300 yards 3 years in a row. Teams weren't throwing the ball. Teams weren't running spread offenses. But I did that. Not only that, after I threw the ball, I had to go tackle somebody because I was starting defense.
Man, you want to start no D.
I did start defense.
Sometimes.
Okay, last game.
Which play? Say
Last game.
Okay, last game. Somebody was hurt. You played. Cool.
Hold on. My last game.
Talk to me. What was your stats? I don't remember.
Okay.
Tell me your stats.
Threw for 230 yards.
230. Okay.
All right.
How many attempts? How many completions?
I don't know the
Okay,
attempts completions, but threw 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
All right.
How many picks?
I didn't have any picks that game.
Okay, talk to me.
Had 14 tackles at linebacker, middle linebacker.
Yeah, impressive. Hey,
Kicked the
he was
outside
sticky
kick.
too.
Kicked the
Onside
outside kick. Got the outside kick.
Okay.
What else?
How did you guys lose that game?
I don't even know. I don't even know.
I'm
You know
glad.
that's why
I'm glad.
You know that's why he
Don't even say it.
What was the final score?
We lost by 1. We didn't have a field goal.
How do you have a game like that and lose by 1?
You know,
What was the last play you called?
18 sprint pass.
And you throw it or you run it?
I didn't throw it. I didn't throw it. They wanted me to audible so bad. I didn't listen to my other senior running mate, Mojo.
Yeah. What, Mojo wanted the ball?
No, he was just like, man, audible. Whatever you audible to, we good. Don't run that play.
They sacked you on that play?
Yeah, cause of, well, it was a breakdown in protection.
Alright, so man, like a lot of people don't know, man, it's a whole lot of good talent come through Cahokia.
Yes.
Oh, no doubt.
Ask him the question.
Quarterback. Oh, man.
Alright, so man, just hearing that you had 200 plus yards, 3 TDs. Dang, you had all the TDs? Or was it 4 score? Did y'all have 4 touchdowns?
We had 4.
Okay, who scored those? You threw for 3, right?
Yeah.
And then, I don't remember who scored those.
No, that was it. We lost 20.
Yeah, I was 21-20? Okay. So Travante them lost 28-27.
Yeah.
Alright. Same team, Bloomington. I'd never let that happen. Look, first of all, I heard that Danville whooped y'all one year. When I got the rematch, they got to go home, man. What's wrong with y'all? Man, I don't play that.
I know that.
They ain't whooping my team up 2 times. Forget that. But anyway, so you had 200 yards, 3 TDs, 14 tackles, onside kick recovery. Man, those some overall stats that'll put the conversation out there of the best player on the field. How do you feel? Who's the best player in Cahokia history that you know of?
It's got to be that you know of. Like, so if you don't know way before you, don't worry about that.
Oh, I know. I was the ball boy when I was in the 80s, 90s.
So you seen a lot. You seen a lot before you and after you.
I seen a lot. Oh my gosh!
Great question.
Who was the best player in Cahokia history? Man,
You can give us 3.
oh gosh,
I want the one to be the one though.
man.
I know who I think it is, but I ain't even go to Cahokia.
You know what? Paul Davis. Paul Davis as a running back, man. To see him play running back, he was special. He arguably, people argue that he's probably the best running back to ever come to Cahokia.
Definitely was in the conversation.
Man, I know Jimmy Hunt put up some numbers, some crazy numbers and stuff like that. Javante was good too. Now I know him.
You scared?
Huh?
You scared? What you scared of?
No, you said that I know. Oh, that I've seen play.
Yeah.
You answered.
This ain't.
You scared too then.
I ain't scared. Y'all can interview me another time.
Doctor,
And I'll let y'all have it. Y'all can interview me another time. And I'll let y'all know everything.
Gonna be Doc.
Nah, I ain't like that. Die line.
I don't, you know. That's a hard question, man.
Who's your favorite teammate?
My favorite teammate. Oh, that's a tough question too. Probably Spook Juice. Mojo.
Shout out to Mojo. Hey, Mojo, one of the best youth football coaches on the planet. We're gonna get you on the show, man. We're gonna get you in the studio with us.
He played nose guard as a freshman. That's probably why he's my favorite.
Oh, man.
He made himself.
Ultimate team player right there.
Mojo was a nose guard. If you know Mojo, nose guard.
I couldn't stand that dude when I got to Cahokia, boy.
You gonna say earn blanks too, right?
Nah.
Touchdown blanks. Me and Mojo played together all 4 years. Aaron and Darren didn't come out till they junior year.
Okay. Yeah, man. Shout out to Mojo. All right, so before we leave, what advice do you have to high school student athletes as they partake on their journey to go on to the next level?
Man, set goals for yourself. I know that. Be yourself. You know, a lot of times people go and they try and be somebody else. Nah, you got that because you was who you were. Build a team around you, a good solid team around you. You know, a lot of people go off to college and don't have nobody to talk to when they're struggling. You know, build a solid team around you. And keep the grind. You gotta stay grinding. You know what I mean? If you don't grind, man, ain't nobody gonna grind for you. You gotta grind. You have to. And it's go, you know. And academics. You gotta. I mean, that's most people go to college. You know, they think it's sports. But shoot, if you get a catastrophic pinky injury, you can't play sports no more. Then what? You know. Then what? So now, be well-rounded in everything, man. Be great in everything, not just sports. Be great, a great person. Be a great family member, a great teammate, a great student.
All right, we got you on the show because, like I said before, you're a living legend. How do you think sports prepares you for what you're doing now and the rest of your life?
Everything, man. You know, when you talk about relationships, work-wise, workforce, good days, bad days. I mean, sports is the game of life. I mean, you know how to handle adversity. Know what getting up early in the morning. When you have a bad day, bouncing back. You know, family. You know, being a team player in a relationship. I mean, it encompasses everything. You know, sports prepared me for where I'm at now. You know, still setting goals for myself. Still trying to reach them. You know what I mean?
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show, man. This great host friend of mine, love you, boy. Byron Gettis, my boy KT, Coach Poe, Trench Reloaded.
Salute, man.
I'm DOC, Coach DOC. This is iLLSports247 with the Living Legends. We out.
We got the killers over here.
Yeah! We got killers over here. Yeah!